Hello, my darlings. I just thought I'd pop on. I'm scruffy as heck. Well, that's because I've been hard at work. I just had to do a weather update for you all. All right, it's quite an important one. It's a UK rare red warning for parts of the UK ahead of Storm Eowyn with tornado and danger to life alerts. Yeah, did you catch that? I said tornado. Yeah, I know. It's like flipping heck. Oh, and I've just spilt my tea. I were having a cup of tea and I was so shocked. I dropped my phone and I dropped my biscuit into a cup of tea, and now I'm wearing my cup of tea. So if I look even scruffier, that's why. Anyway, I digress. Schools are being advised to close, with drivers warned to stay off the roads amid a rare weather warning as Storm Ewan, now I must get that right, gets set to batter parts of the UK. I love the fact that we're going to get a battering. Isn't that nice? The wind alert, which covers all of Northern Ireland from 7 a.m. on Friday until 2 p.m. and parts of Scotland from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., warns of very dangerous conditions and widespread disruption. Tornadoes could also hit parts of the UK today ahead of the storm, with forecasters warning of a danger to life. The Met Office said changing conditions could trigger an explosive cyclogenesis or weather bomb, with strong winds, rain and snow and gusts of up to 90 miles per hour expected on Friday. The red alert is the Met Office's most serious warning and means the weather is likely to cause substantial disruption to travel, energy supplies, and possibly widespread damage to property and infrastructure, according to the agency. A series of amber and yellow warnings have also been put into place, threatening injuries and a danger to life. Ahead of the strong gusts, all schools in Northern Ireland have been advised to close on Friday by the Education Authority. Stormont Education Minister Paul Givan said, "I understand this will impact on the work of schools and indeed on other businesses and services, but the decision has been taken to avoid any potential risk to life for children and young people as well as staff." Schools should put plans in place today for remote learning so that pupils can study at home. The record for gusts in Northern Ireland is 124 miles per hour in Killee in County Down in January 1974, so it might even top that. Goodness. Across the border, Met Erin has issued a rare national red warning for wind across the Republic of Ireland, describing possible danger to life. Irish Premier Simon Harris has warned there is an extreme risk to life. He said he had been briefed on the storm approaching Ireland from midnight, adding, "Storm Eowyn is dangerous, destructive and damaging. We cannot give a higher warning than nationwide red. The risk to life is extreme and real. You need to pay attention. Do not travel. Do not go near the sea." At a press briefing later, Ireland's National Emergency Coordination Group said the storm is set to be one of the most dangerous the country has faced, with gusts at around 80 miles per hour expected. Eoin Sherlock, head of forecasting at Met Éireann, warned that the jet stream will bring storms of incredible intensity, which has left Ireland in the firing line. Mr. Sherlock said coastal areas could even experience stronger winds, adding, "I suppose our inhabitants on the island have to take great care because we would expect hurricane-force winds." A nationwide red wind warning is exceptional. In Scotland, First Minister John Swinney also urged people not to travel in affected areas during the bad weather. Speaking at the Scottish Parliament, he said, We have to be clear, people should not travel, and Police Scotland will issue a formal do not travel advisory notice shortly. Councils will make decisions today on school closures. Glasgow City Council is one such local authority that has announced all schools and nurseries in the region will be closed. Mr. Swinney added, "Red weather warnings like this are very rare. Our message is simple. Please follow the advice from the Met Office and the police. Take this seriously and stay safe." The head of road policing at Police Scotland later told Sky News there will be significant disruptions. Chief Superintendent Hilary Sloan added, "It's not very often we get red weather warnings, so it's absolutely imperative that we get the message out to road users not to travel." European storm forecasters Estafex issued a level 2 alert saying there was a risk of a few tornadoes between 6 a.m. on Thursday and 6 a.m. on Friday. Knowing how the wind's whipping and ripping outside my home at the moment, I'm not surprised. A strong event cannot be ruled out, the meteorologist said. Given rapid translation of thunderstorms, any tornado could be long-tracked. The main tornado risk seems to be evolving along and south of Bristol-London line, so that bit, down south in other words. Met Office forecasters explained the storm had a central air pressure of 1001 as of Wednesday evening, but this was expected to drop by 62. That's air pressure, by the early hours of Friday. I've got a kitten behind me. This is known as an explosive cyclogenesis or a weather bomb and will bring damaging winds to some areas, they said. The major change in the UK's weather was starting on Thursday. The Met Office said, with heavy rain and strong gusts triggered by a powerful jet stream pushing low pressure across the Atlantic and towards the country after a recent cold spell over North America. And believe me, you're having a bad time over in the States. I know, I've seen it on the news, and it looks rough. The south coast of England, parts of the southwest and much of the Welsh coast are covered by a yellow weather warning for wind from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. on Thursday. Some coastal routes and seafronts in these areas will be affected by spray or large waves, the National Weather Service said. But as the storm arrives on Friday, rain and even snow is expected over the parts of Northern Ireland, Scotland, and on higher ground in northern England. That's the bit that I'm in. The whole country is covered by at least one yellow weather warning on Friday, with warnings for snow, wind, and rain in place. The Met Office says the strongest winds are due to hit the north of England, south of Scotland, and North Wales, where an amber wind warning is in place from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Friday. But the south of the country will also be affected. Don't think you're getting out of this one, London. You're going to get battered like we are. Gusts of up to 90 miles per hour are more likely to be found along the most exposed coastal areas, while winds between 60 and 70 miles per hour are expected inland. And where I am on the moors, being quite exposed. The Met Office advised people to secure loose items outside homes as there could be a danger to life caused by flying debris. Mike Silverstone, Deputy Chief Meteorologist at the Met Office, said, "Storm Eowyn is expected to bring very strong winds and widespread disruption on Friday. There are currently a number of weather warnings in place, with all parts of the UK covered by one warning at some point on Friday. Storm Eowyn is expected to cross Northern Ireland early on Friday morning. It will then continue north-east across the northern half of Scotland during Friday afternoon and is expected to be centred near the Shetland during Friday evening." God be with you all out there. It's going to be a very, very rough time indeed. National Highways, which operates motorways and major A roads in England, has urged motorists in the North West, North East and Yorkshire to plan for disruption on Friday. Basically, that juggernaut run that goes across the M62, you'll know where I'm meaning, the little house in the prairie, just before you drop down to Ainley Top and get through to Huddersfield. Please be really careful. There is no protection up there. It's a wide open plain and the wind will blow. So you've been warned. I'm only about 20 minutes from there. It's rough. It really is. It's warned of a particularly high risk that high-sided vehicles, caravans and motorbikes could be blown over. Yes, it will happen. There's no protection up there. You are so high. You are 1,012, let me get this right, feet above sea level with no barriers. The wind will blow. It's very high up there. It's the highest point in the whole of the United Kingdom, is that point. It's called Summit Point, for obvious reasons. Rail passengers also face being stranded in the north of England, as LNER warned there would be no trains in either direction north of Newcastle from 11 a.m. on Friday. Services north of York will also be subject to short notice cancellation and significant delay, an LNER spokesperson said. Alternative travel options will be limited due to the nature of the weather. Traffic Wales has said it expects high winds may result in the closure of the Britannia Bridge on Friday. If you know where that is, it's quite exposed, which connects the islands of Anglesey with the city of Bangor. Yes, and it will be a banger if that goes. In Scotland, a number of CalMax services scheduled for Friday have been cancelled. The ferry operator has further warned that the afternoon sailings on Thursday may also be liable to disruption cancellation at short notice. Meanwhile, ScotRail said it is currently working with the industry partners and will share information on what the impact the storm will bring to services shortly. You have been warned, everybody, and that was Sky News. We'll see what the BBC wants to tell us now. This was at 10 o'clock this morning, and they updated it 22 minutes ago, and the time now is 1:30. Red warnings have been issued for Northern Ireland and parts of Scotland on Friday as dangerous storm Eowyn heads towards the UK. The rare warnings for wind mean flying debris could cause a danger to life, with gusts of up to 100 miles per hour, 161 kilometres along some exposed coasts. Millions have been asked to stay at home. All schools in Northern Ireland have been advised to close, and people have been told not to go out in both nations. The Met Office warned people to expect damage to buildings with roofs blown off and significant disruption to travel. The BBC Weather says it could be the storm of the century, and they're not kidding. For the Republic of Ireland, it could flatten it. In the UK, the Met Office warns it is very likely there will be a risk to life where people should avoid travelling where possible. Red is the most serious weather warning the Met Office can issue, meaning dangerous weather is expected and people are urged to take action to keep themselves and others safe. No going out, hero watching and storm chasing, especially if you've no experience in doing that. Right? Just remember, if you get in trouble, those poor souls, Mountain Rescue, which are here in my valley, will have to come out for you, and that's not good, putting them at risk, is it? The red warning for the whole of Northern Ireland will be enforced from 7 o'clock tomorrow morning to 2 o'clock Friday afternoon, affecting the morning rush hour. Mm. First Minister Michelle O'Neill told reporters people can expect to receive an emergency alert on their phone this afternoon and only to travel where it's absolutely necessary. Stormont Education Minister Paul Gibbons said the decision to close schools was taken to avoid any potential risk to life for children. Schools should put plans in place today for remote learning so that pupils can study at home, he said. Then, as the storm moves east, a red warning is in place across Scotland's central belt, including Glasgow and Edinburgh, from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock tomorrow. First Minister John Swinney announced in the Scottish Parliament people should not travel in areas covered by the red warning. Across the UK, winds will rapidly increase from west to east on Friday morning into the afternoon, with peak gusts of 80 to 90 miles per hour. That's 129 to 145 kilometres. Okay? There will be likely a large number of trees blown over, with widespread disruption to travel, with roads badly affected, and flights, trains and ferries will be subject to cancellation. Power cuts are also likely, some of which could last a number of days. Belfast City Airport warned there may be disruption to flights. Train operators Avanti, LNER, Lumo and Northern have issued warnings not to travel in the north of England and North Wales on Friday. Well, that's a given. It's pretty rough up here. There's not a lot of protection. The AA urged drivers travelling in red weather warning areas to consider whether a journey is necessary, and if not, to postpone it. Please postpone if you need, common sense. If you do need to travel, make sure you're prepared for what you may encounter. Expect to come across fallen branches and other debris on the roads, especially in rural areas, roadside technician Chris Woods said. 2 amber warnings are also in place for parts of Scotland and the north of England on Friday. The entire rest of the country is under at least 1 yellow warning as Eowyn brings strong winds, rain and snow. Irish forecaster Met Éireann has issued blanket red weather warnings covering all of the Republic of Ireland for widespread gusts in excess of 80 miles per hour. Meanwhile, an amber warning for wind is in place on Friday from 6 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night for the north of England, North Wales and Scotland's central belt. Another amber warning for wind on Friday starts later at 1 o'clock until 6 on Saturday morning. So 1 o'clock in the afternoon Friday to 6 on Saturday for parts of Scotland. However, the big change to the UK's weather begins on Thursday as heavy rain and strong gusty winds move across the country. Yes, I can attest to that. It's happening outside right now. Parts of the south coast of England, southwest and much of the Welsh coast are covered by a yellow weather warning for wind until I think that's 6 o'clock tonight on Thursday. It is likely seafronts will be affected by spray and large waves and power and travel disruption. There are 12 warnings currently issued. The red warning for wind in Northern Ireland from 7 this morning until 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon. A red warning for wind for Scotland's central belt from 10 a.m. until 5 o'clock on Friday. Amber warning for wind across all of Scotland, northeast England, northwest England, Northern Ireland from 6 in the morning to 9 o'clock on Friday evening. Amber warning for wind across parts of Scotland from 1 o'clock on Friday to 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. Yellow warning for wind for parts of London and the southeast, southwest England, Wales until 5 o'clock this evening. Yellow warning for wind across most of the country from midnight until 23:59 on Friday. Okay. Yellow warning for rain in parts of Wales, southwest, West Midlands from midnight to 9 o'clock or 9 a.m. on Friday morning. Yellow warning for wind in parts of the Midlands, east of England, London and South East England from 5 o'clock to 3 o'clock on Friday. So 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Friday. Yellow warning for snow in parts of Scotland, in parts of northeast, northwest from 6 in the morning until midnight on Friday. Yellow warning for wind in parts of Scotland from midnight until 3 o'clock in the evening, and I should say in the afternoon on Saturday. Yellow warning for wind for the western side of England, all of Wales and Northern Ireland and southwest Scotland from 8 o'clock until 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sunday. Yellow warning for rain for the south, east and southwest Wales, Midlands, east of England and northwest from 8 o'clock on Sunday in the morning until 6 a.m. on the Monday. So we got another storm rolling in directly after Ewan. Storm Ewan is the fifth named storm of the season. Blimey, have we got the weekend of weekends coming up. Do take care. If you can go to the shops now and do your weekly shop and all the bits and bobs that you need, do so. Get your lanterns, blankets, just generally normal things that you're going to need within a storm, and make a plan for you and your family so you know where everybody is, and have a meeting point set up if things get really, really bad. And I'm not saying they will. Let's hope that everything calms down. We've no idea. If I get to hear any more reports coming through, I'll pop on and just say hi. How you doing? Are you getting there? Have you got your lanterns in place? Got sleeping bags? Got some bottled water put to one side? Some tinned food that you can cook on a camping stove if you haven't got that? Have you got the ability to make sandwiches? You know, something to keep you going so you don't have to go outside. Drop me a line, let me know how you're doing, and let me know what preparations you're taking to get through Storm Ewan. I know I'll be doing all of what I've just said, all of the above. So good luck, everybody. Thinking about you all, and I'll pop on later if there's another update. Okay, my loves. Bye bye.